Hey guys, this is Jon.
And Austin.
And Brett.
And Dylan.
And similar to what we did with all the tastings of the summer sausage, we got to arguing about what the correct cheese percentage is. 8, 10, or 15.
What? Whoa.
Yeah, we weren't doing
Where was
30.
20 or 25 or 30?
We stopped at 15. Dylan and I talked, and anything beyond 15, it just tastes like cheese anyways. Personally, from just looking at these, but we'll get into that, I think it's clear which one is the correct amount to do. So we used tones on all of these. They all have encapsulated citric acid. They were made from the exact same batch. They were smoked the same, so they are exactly the same except for the amount of cheese in it. So we've got from your right to left, we have the 8%, the 10%, and the 15%. Now, 8% we chose because that's 2 pounds to a 25-pound batch, which is what I often like to say. Austin and other people will say you need to use 10%, which would be 2.5 1-pound bags to a 25-pound batch. And then just because Austin wanted to see what it was like with more cheese, I made a 15% batch. I suppose not surprisingly, this stuffed about another half a chub than the other two because of the extra cheese in it. Yeah.
There's more weight.
All right. It's more volume, really.
Well, correct.
That was the one thing that kind of stood out as I was cutting these up a little bit. Cheese is a big volume adder to all of these products because by weight, it adds a lot of volume by weight.
Well, it's not as dense as like salt.
Or meat.
So, like a 50-pound box of cheese will be a lot bigger than a 50-pound box of salt.
Right.
So, it's probably not that much different than meat.
You don't think so?
Probably not.
Oh, I mean, it's got to be a good bit. I mean, it's
a little bit less dense, but probably not a lot.
There's a lot of fat in it, so it'd be similar to the fat in the meat, but the lean, I guess more or less comparing what your fat to lean is going to be like in meat anyways, because there's so much fat in the cheese. I want to say the cheese is like over 30% fat, something like that.
All right. So
can I ask a question?
You can do
you're
whatever you
talking
want.
about it, and you're kind of throwing Austin under the bus for for something that looks really good over there. You 8%ers. Do you ever take like a summer sausage that doesn't have cheese added, and you take a slice of summer sausage and you take a slice of cheese, and don't you put those together on a cracker and eat them? And at that point, what would be the percent of cheese with one slice of cheese and one slice of summer sausage?
Somewhere in the range of 8%, probably.
I think we're coming back in my realm of 30-35, baby.
Yeah, by that logic, then you're almost a 50%. Because I've seen you cut up cheese and meat, and the slice of cheese is as thick and as big as a slice of meat. Now, it's not quite the same because it is a little less dense. Mm-hmm. I mean, you're arguing for like a 40 or 50% then. And
I'm asking you guys questions.
I think those are two different things.
It's obviously going to make your 8% look bad.
He's trying to make fun of us, but I like the taste of meat. Cheese isn't additive.
Cheese tops meat.
No, I don't agree with that.
Yeah.
I still like that.
Welcome to the family, Jon. Austin's been excommunicated. Cheese over meat. I mean, cheese is good, but come on. Cheese over meat. This guy.
All right. I made my statement.
You were
my
saying
opening remarks.
You wanted to see one split down the middle, right?
No, cut on the 45. So.
Show me what
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Okay.
That way we get a bigger cross section to see how well you stuffed them.
Yeah, so we do get to like.
No, we didn't get to last time. We're not going to this time.
Got this one.
That set up there.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that 8%.
I guess
so
I should
far it
flip
does
one
not
around.
look very good.
Don't be ridiculous.
Ooh, that looks a little weak.
I'll turn that so you guys can see that one.
Okay.
Yeah, turn
one. Yep. I should see that.
See, yeah, that looks great.
Okay. So, I would honestly say
I'm gonna turn that one a little. Yeah, I can't see it.
Okay, turn to him. I would say the 10 and the 15 look very similar.
Could just be If we got summer sausage to burn, cut one lengthwise.
Okay.
It all eats.
Preferably straight, John. That was
Not great.
Yeah, it's close enough,
Okay. Oh.
okay. Yeah.
Not terrible.
Pretty
A little bit patchy.
pretty decent amount of.
I think that split out pretty good, yeah.
There's kind of a dead spot in the middle. Both ends are kind of heavy.
Oh, yeah.
Is that better for you? So this is the 10% one. Okay. So yeah, you can definitely see a difference at that point.
Okay.
A couple more little voids in there, but we're not worried about that.
There's some pretty good air pockets in there.
There's one or two.
Does that look... I mean, really, it doesn't look a lot different than the 15. And that's like, where's the cheese?
Yeah.
There's some large areas without cheese in
Yeah.
The 8% just doesn't look as good.
It looks
doesn't
like
look
it's half
near
as
good.
much as the 10.
Why are we worried about...
Are you sure that we got the correct volumes in here?
Yeah.
Okay, I just like to always throw that out.
No, that's fine. You can cut up another one. I mean, it's possible that it was...
Just that one.
Yeah, could be.
How large was your batch size?
16 pounds total.
So it's that 4-pound batch.
Ish, yeah.
5 pound.
Or,
I said earlier,
Sorry,
math's
5.
not my
Nah.
strong suit.
sorry. You had 3 batches.
Okay,
not
so we're
4.
cutting up another one of the 8%ers.
That's a little more even. That's a little more what I would expect.
Okay.
Oh, flip
It
it
still
back
looks
here.
a little sparse though.
But why do we want
But it's even.
an overpowering of cheese? We want the seasoning, we want the meat.
Well, I think we need to taste test if we're actually gonna.
Let's start cutting some up. Let's
Okay,
start
I'll cut up these
low
if
to
you, wanna,
high.
if you want to cut up some of those.
Sure.
Oh, I thought you had a second knife.
No, I should have.
Sorry.
No, it's okay.
See, on this 8%, I have to look at it first and see where would be the best place to take a bite
Just eat.
because I might not get cheese in it.
We weighed in before this. I haven't eaten all day, so I'm eating the whole thing.
Well, Austin, don't put the whole piece in, okay?
Yeah. I'm thinking about all the comments people left us last time.
Me too.
Meat flavor, summer sausage with some cheese.
You don't even taste the cheese.
You're not supposed. The cheese is an additive. It's not a highlight.
Yeah, I mean, it totally depends on what somebody's looking for. Like when I'm having summer sausage and cheese, when it's in it, I don't expect it to be cheese flavored.
Right.
I want a little bit of extra flavor and a little bit of extra fat. But if I want to eat a ton of cheese, then I would go slice up a block of cheese and eat that with summer sausage.
But if you put encapsulated citric acid in it, you want every bite to taste that way, don't you? And it's just an additive.
Yeah, but those are not the same
I taste
at
cheese
all.
in
No.
every bite.
No. Those aren't the same type of things. Encapsulated citric acid we're adding for a few reasons. One of them is the pH drop and the tang. The tang is part of the taste. The cheese is
Part of the taste.
Yeah, I don't know where he's going on that one.
You're digging yourself a grave.
But no, to that argument, if that's going to be your argument, well then what's the correct percent encapsulated to add? Is it a pound? Is it 12 ounces? Is it 9? Is it 14? Like where is it? And everybody's going to have their own preference. And as we go farther north, people are going to prefer more. And as we go farther south, they're going to prefer less. And, across all of us, we probably even have our own preferential difference on percent encapsulated.
That's exactly what I was
just
trying
like
to say.
cheese.
But I'd still
Thank you.
There you
like,
go, John. Yeah,
I'd
that's
still
it.
like for it to be distributed throughout. And 8%, it's hard to get.
It is. Well, no, hold on. No,
distribution
this
throughout.
one's a good example. It's distributed throughout.
but I might
Take
right
out
there
the
and
fact
get
that we're
nothing.
doing it on a hand crank stuffer and a hand mixer that make it a little more difficult. I don't want to rag on John because we're not using huge, perfect commercial equipment. So, on a handmade process, like this one's a good example.
We should have did this test at 10, 20, and 30%, right?
Yeah.
Well, we can go again. I'm still going to say, well, I won't say anything yet.
We'll just come back at a later date and time and group it all together. And so, the other ones are going to be edible. They're not so bad. I mean, I've been at one of the state conventions and had a bologna that had cheese in it, and it was a 30% cheese, and it was not good.
Maybe it didn't have anything to do with the cheese.
And it's not the same as just adding a slice, because on a sandwich, you would put in, a slice of, cheese onto a sandwich, easy, no problem. It'd be a good portion compared to the meat. But one, this is not normal cheese. This is high temp cheese.
Right.
Okay, so you got that's way different than going to the store and getting some high quality, whatever your preferred brand is. Locally the high end, quote unquote high end cheese is Sargento, and that's like very different than high temp cheese.
I think it has more of the consistency of like American cheese.
Yeah. See, that's too cheesy to me.
Now we're getting into a realm where you actually taste, and it changes the texture, it changes the taste, and you actually get it in there. You still have full meat flavor.
I would disagree
but
that
you actually get cheese.
No.
I would disagree that you have full meat flavor.
No.
I taste
it's
less
cheese.
of the seasoning in that. I taste more of the seasoning in that one.
I just think on the first one, literally there's bites where you don't taste cheese. This one you get both in every bite.
I feel like I'm chewing a slice of Kraft. When you start getting up at this end, is the texture totally changes, and that's fine. That may be what somebody wants, but there's a noticeable difference just moving from here to here.
There is. I agree.
Do you have a preference between those two, or are you holding for the end?
Oh, I'd rather be at 10 than 8.
Okay.
But I'm going to guess I'd rather be at 10 than 15.
They don't look a lot different. They look pretty similar.
No, but so there are spots.
Man,
they
I
don't
couldn't
look
tell
that
you.
much difference, but there's a little larger spots between it on this when you really look. There's a lot more density.
Right. If you
than
take
there
out
is there.
this section.
So maybe you get a bite occasionally in the 10% that's pretty cheesy, but I also got bites that weren't very cheesy. I think in the 15 they're all going to be cheesy.
Okay. Ready to go? This one is noticeably not cheesy, so I'm going to cut a new piece for me. Yeah. It's like I'm eating a block of Kraft cheese on this one.
Yeah.
That is all that coats my mouth. I don't feel like the fat is melting and coating my mouth. I feel like it's just the cheese. Hence, I can't taste any seasoning on this.
You're crazy.
Very little tons flavor. It cuts the citric acid.
It does cut it, yeah.
There's not near the citric acid tang in that one versus this one over here.
Oh, so
True.
we should do a blind taste test. You should cut up a little of each one, and then see if John can tell you which percent is what, really quick.
I like it. Let's do it.
We should have made a control sample.
What's your control? No cheese?
No cheese.
I think I can do that.
And then have some.
I think I can do that.
And then have a slice of cheese. And does it taste different? You're
Go
just
ahead.
making me think about that because with the less cheese, I get more of the seasoning flavor.
Yep.
So if you had just one that was, and the cheese was separated from it, would it be different?
Maybe we did need a palate cleanser for this then.
I say that every time.
Like John's in trouble there.
No, Austin's the one who said meat's not as good as cheese. He's the one that's in trouble.
This was even my idea. I'm sitting here like, why is he turned around? I decided to close his eyes.
Well, I'm going to turn back around once they're done cutting with the eyes closed.
Well, you can't, with eyes closed?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because if you hand them to me and my
just
eyes
put
are
'em
open,
out.
I'm still going to know.
Okay, so
All right.
Oh, because you don't want to see what it looks like.
Right,
You
because
just
I'll be
want
able to
taste
tell
it.
from that.
knows which one's what. Here we go.
He says he doesn't like this one, but you notice he went back for seconds on it before any.
Oh,
other
I'm always
one.
going to eat everything I'm handed.
No, not you, Brett.
Oh.
Brett just cut another piece of.
I didn't say I didn't like it, but
I'll eat it.
I was tasting it to
No worries.
compare it back to the last 15, as far as just the flavor from the seasoning.
Yeah, a lot more citric acid comes through.
See, I'm the guy. I don't dislike any of them. I'll tell you which one I like better.
Okay.
None of them are bad. Like I said, they're not like that bologna that I had that was 30%. That was bad.
Okay, John's on his last
Okay.
bite.
First was 10, second was 8, last one was that.
Nope, they were all 15.
Were they really?
Are you serious?
No.
Oh, I was going to say, wow.
You were right. It's 10, 8, 15.
There you go, man. We couldn't convince you the other way.
I think that's a win for Team 8%.
Absolutely.
That's
Because the reason I can tell is
There's
with
more
that,
cheese.
I tasted. I could tell there was more cheese. I can taste the seasoning much stronger in that than I can in either one of these.
I agree.
And let's be honest, Tons is a delicious
Really good.
summer sausage seasoning.
I mean, I don't think you're wrong on some of that. The part I think you're wrong is that there is not enough cheese in that to say that it's like cheese.
No, that's the amount I'm not wrong on that. Like, that's the amount I'm saying.
Okay.
The way you just said it made it sound like
There's not enough to really, really taste it.
no, you can taste it.
you could taste it.
I think the 10 is the best middle ground to get strong meat flavor, strong amount of cheese. 8's not enough cheese. 15, I wouldn't say is too much because if I was making it, I'd still make 15. But
Okay.
And that's
kind of
why
a
we
random-
don't let Austin make the Christmas summer sausage.
Kind of a random, just grab and cut. We've got one decent sized slice. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 whole ones and say like 6 other little pieces of cheese, right? I'm not going to bite this, or I'm not going to eat this in less than or more than 3 bites. So I'm going to get cheese in every single bite, but I'm still going to get mostly meat and seasoning, which is what I want.
this is still mostly meat.
Is it though?
It's still only 15% cheese, 85% meat.
But it doesn't taste at the same.
It
That's
cuts its flavor down. It certainly does.
yeah.
Okay, so going into it, I thought 8% was the right. I still believe that.
what do
Yeah.
I think is right for
Yeah, what's your
general
preference?
usage or what's my preference?
Yeah, either or.
I would
It's
say
not that you're right and
preference
somebody
then.
else is
Yeah,
wrong.
it's not right. It's,
Because that's what flavor is. I mean, there's seasonings that that you like here, John, that I don't like, not on the table here, but that we have in the building, and that doesn't mean that you're right on those.
I'm still at a 15%.
okay, and so you came into it thinking 15 and leave going 15.
I came into it thinking 25, and I'm settling at 15.
If you want to do another one, we should do sticks because you'll really start to notice in sticks because it's such a small diameter
Okay.
that when you go 15% cheese on a stick, I mean, a
cheese
17
stick.
millimeter is only that big in diameter,
Right.
You know, and so cheese just is every other piece of
mean,
cheese, meat, cheese, meat, cheese, meat.
If we do want to do that, we should probably do it with either 19 or 21, just because that's what most retail people, we don't want them stuffing a 17 millimeter.
With cheese.
Okay.
That'd be bad.
10.
In and out, coming in and leaving. You think 10 was the best? I'm just trying to see if we
Yeah.
change anyone's mind.
Yeah, I don't know if I could have said for sure what I wanted. I would have made 10 if you were asking. Anytime I've made it, I make it 10.
Okay.
I've never played it going higher than that, but I've never tasted them the same across to really notice the flavor difference in just the 8 and the 10. That surprises me.
But there is that much of a flavor difference. Yeah. Yep. I agree.
Yeah, still 8%, but kind of surprised on the citric acid and just the seasoning flavor difference from 8 to 15. I think you could convince me more to change from my stance of 8 on something, maybe on a snack steak, maybe, probably not, but probably on like a bratwurst. Like I could probably be pretty easily convinced on a bratwurst to go way up over 8. But because I want a brat to be really cheesy. Like I'm okay with that, but I personal preference is I don't want my summer sausage to be crazy cheesy. Plus, it's a cold food, and so I think that the cold aspect makes a huge difference over warm.
Because I'll 100% agree. I want more cheese in a brat because it's going to start. It won't melt quite, but it'll start being a little bit runny, and there it's perfectly good. Like the jalapeno popper, if I'm making those, I will definitely not add 8%. I'll go 10% or even higher.
So if you wanted to do a brat that was 10, 20, and 30, I think that'd be a good one to do. Okay. It'd be like, is 30 too much? I don't know. I could be, like my first initial thought is like, that might be okay. I might be okay with that. Cold though? Just the type of product, 30 would be way too much. You're welcome to do it and we could try it, but 30 is going to be way too much. Austin's just slowly smirking over there like, yo, right.
I'm getting excited.
He's going to make a 30-pound or 30% batch.
If we put that much in it, though, you're also probably going to have to increase your seasoning.
Yeah, you need to bump it up. But see, the difficult thing is it's hard to bump it up on that to try and cover for extra flavor because you might just get too salty too quick.
No.
Yeah,
Austin's in on that wheelhouse.
Yeah. I was surprised he didn't pop a salt shaker out and put salt on his 15% cheese down there.
Dylan, what if at higher amounts we started calculating the cheese in as part of the batch? Because I generally don't.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So if you had a 100-pound batch and you put in 30 pounds of cheese, you don't want to put in enough seasoning for 130 pounds, or it's going to end up being way too salty.
Right.
Like you just kill yourself on salt.
So instead, you add 70 pounds of meat, 30 pounds of cheese. Is what I'm asking.
Well, you're doing the same thing. It's just a slightly different ratio, but you're doing the same thing.
You're going to have to figure out how much salt is in the cheese.
Yeah, if you were to really affect the meat block by that much, I mean, a 30% change is huge.
Right.
When we add 10% cheese, okay, that's not bad. So the seasoning kind of sticks with it. But, we saw that here where it's fine at 8, fine at 10, 15 is starting to get on the verge of like losing some flavor. And if that were like, in a commercial setting, if they were actually making a product like that, like they're going to straight up reformulate the whole deal because we're not going to increase all the salt, but we are going to increase a bunch of the other spices and things like that. And so, but from a retail perspective, guys can't just keep adding more at the same ratio, and so you kind of start losing some of that ability, and you almost need to add a little bit extra spices and that kind of thing along the way if you want more of a flavor.
All right, well, if we have more of these to do, we'll keep doing them. That last one we did got way more views than the normal podcast episode on YouTube, so we'll keep doing these as long as people keep watching them.
So
probably the extra talent on the screen.
All of our best performing YouTube video or podcasts are the ones that you're on. People like seeing.
Really?
Yep.
That is shocking.
That's just shocking. It is.
All right, cool. Thanks, guys. All right, so we kicked those guys out. A few things to talk about before we get to Meat Matters, real quick. If you're in the Wichita area, BHA on February 18th is having what they're calling the Pawnee Prairie Pack Out. It's a cleanup of the Pawnee Prairie Park. Starts at 9 a.m., and you can just show up and help clean up some garbage. Walton's is sponsoring that event.
Do you know where that event came from?
No.
Oh,
Is there a story?
Kind of.
Go ahead.
So it was initiated by us. I'm pretty sure that's, next Consolver. That's near a neighborhood where Josh, our store manager, used to live, grew up, and he spent a lot of time around there, has cleaned up stuff around it before, and he's like, it's always been bad. He was talking about it, what we could do for it. And so then was talking with Kurt with BHA, talking with those at in power in the city
Right.
and getting everything organized and getting that going. So that was started because of Josh.
Oh, nice.
So yeah,
Cool.
Cool little touch there that sponsored by us, but also that initial push came from Josh, our store manager.
That was going to be the first one I went to, but now I feel like it shouldn't be. If it was Josh's event, probably. No, I'm just kidding.
You come and cook for him.
I'm just kidding. Yeah, what are they dragging the big grill down there?
They'll have
That's
a big
pretty
trailer
cool.
grill out there and cook lunch for everybody that helps out.
Ooh, hold on. Talk for a second. I got to grab something. It's right over there.
So if you haven't seen our trailer grill, it is pretty cool. It's very large. Literally, it is a whole trailer. And you can cook, I don't even know how many pounds of meat on that thing at one time, but it's fun.
A lot.
It's a fun little toy. We've only like truly filled it up a couple times. One time we filled it up cooking hamburgers, and that turned into a bad situation. There was fire.
There was a lot of fire on that. We also took it once to some show down at the barn, that big barn building. Were you there? No, you weren't there for that. Were you?
Yeah, I wasn't working, but I was
you were
there.
just coming, yeah.
Was it Big Al's birthday bash? Is that what we're talking about? The barn, it's kind of a barn, but
I don't
not
think
really
it was.
a barn?
I think the only time they've done Big Al's birthday bash was out at, like they're going to do it again. Maybe it was. I can't remember. Anyways, doesn't matter. All right, I got a new box from Blue Creek Knives, and it's got a new knife in it. Not
Sweet.
that
So I can have this one.
you
now?
cannot have that one. I found that other Rosecraft knife that I was using that I got last week. I found that I really like having multiple knives. I now see why Flip is as obsessed with it as he is. Okay, so we've got some stickers that I will put on the side of the fridge like I did with the other ones. I've got a CRKT. No, this one's CJRB. Why do they all use just a couple of initials? Come up with real names, knife companies.
Cricket?
Sure.
Is that how you
Probably.
maybe say it?
I mean, I'm not enough in the knife community to know. Let's see here. Oh, it'd be nice if I had a knife to cut that open, huh? I'm not going to do it now. Oh, cool. A tiny little Maglite.
Is that actually a Maglite?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yep. Maglite.
So yeah, it's not just like an off-brand.
Solitaire LED. So I will put that on my keychain. And then for this knife, it's that Cricut thing. Ooh, it is all metal and it's a flipper. Oh, and I like it's the same kind of design as this. It looks more like a hatchet than or a hatchet's the wrong word. What's the word I'm looking for? What's the word I'm looking for, Patrick? A cleaver. It's kind of got that more aggressive, I want to stab something type thing. And as far as sharpness goes, let's see how it does. Oh, that's
nice.
Super sharp. Oop, super sharp.
It is very disappointing if you get like something that's supposed to be sharp and out of the box, it's just not sharp enough.
Yeah. So, pretty cool little knife. 3 knives in rotation now. Okay. Moving on to Meat Matters. As Austin said, surprised that we had this many because we just did the cheese thing, but we'll get through these kind of quickly. First one, China's bid to improve food production, ? Giant towers of pigs. This is ridiculous. So they are 26-story tall buildings that are fully automated. The feed all goes to each floor. Each floor is separated into different areas for breeding pigs, piglets, all sorts of different things. This is the part, though, that really makes me question whether or not this is even true. China is 18.4% of the world's population. They eat 50% of all the pork in the world. That's crazy.
It would probably make sense if they're heavier on pork, not heavy on like chicken and beef. You get to some areas that are going to be higher on like goat and sheep and other what we would call oddball things. So, I mean, the U.S. is going to be probably higher in beef and chicken.
Okay.
Some areas of the world are going to be higher in sheep and goat and stuff like that. And then China, heavy on pork.
Do you want to take a guess at what percentage, roughly, of the beef eaten in the world is eaten by Americans?
Oh, by Americans? Or what?
Well, we're 360 million, so we're less than a quarter their size.
17%.
Oh, it's actually bigger than that. It's 21%.
Okay. I was just thinking because we're probably, 5% of the population, but we probably eat a higher amount. So I was thinking 3 times as much, but so 4 times.
That's awesome.
4 times the amount of what we should.
Good job, fellow countrymen. Continue eating lots of beef. All right. So that is just insane, though. Did you see the image of that 26-story tall building and the entire ridiculous complex?
Yeah, it's crazy. I don't get that. It's nuts.
I mean, it's 26 stories. It looks like mini apartment buildings, and it's all pigs in there.
Do they just have that big of an issue with land?
Yes, according to this. And that's also in rural China. So it's not like they're trying to, get it closer to a city. They said in that article, which for some reason I could read, but you apparently can't.
Yeah.
Said that access to agricultural land is one of the biggest issues in China right now.
Interesting.
So, yeah. All right, moving on. Louisiana seeks to revive law restricting meat substitute labels. So Louisiana on Tuesday urged a federal appeals court to revive a law restricting the use of words traditionally used for meat to market plant-based foods after the maker of tofurkey meat substitutes convinced a judge that it was unconstitutional. Basically, there was a law in place in Louisiana that said, hey, tofurkey, you can't say that you're making hot dogs. And then they sued, and a judge was like, oh, no, yeah, they have free speech as a company, and they're allowed to say that, which is such a ridiculous argument.
If you want to play by those rules, then you have to play by them everywhere. And that's the issue, is that you have to get rid of all the USDA labeling requirements. And that's not going to happen. Good luck with that. So if you want the meat industry to abide by USDA labeling requirements, then you need to make everyone else abide by a similar set of rules, which would mean not misrepresenting your product for something that it's not. And if you're labeling it as something that is, I don't know a better way to say it, but they said traditionally. I feel like there's probably something better for that, but because it makes it sound like it's just a non-traditional.
Right.
It's not right. It's not accurate. But
yeah, it's a good call there. The word traditionally inserted there makes it sound like it's just, that's the way we've always done it, instead of, hey, this is the way we've been forced to do it by the USDA.
Yeah. If it's like you want to make a country ham. You can only make a country ham if you made it like out in the country,
right,
in a certain situation and scenario. Otherwise, you have to call it like country style ham. Should be the same thing with any of the meat substitute stuff out there. It could be hot dog style something.
Yeah.
I mean, just include the word style in it, something different, but you can't just flat out call it that. What you want.
Agreed. All right. USDA simplifies direct loan application. This is from Successful Farming. So the USDA has developed a simplified direct loan application to improve the customer service experiences of farmers and ranchers applying for loans from the Farm Service Agency. So basically, they're just trying to make it a little bit easier for these farmers to apply for loans that they're just apparently going to give out in perpetuity. We are apparently never going to stop pumping money into the system. I fear that is because once we do, everything's going to come crashing down.
Once you start, how do you stop things? I mean, you don't. Once people get accustomed to getting something, to stop it creates a whole host of problems, and a lot of people that are going to get angry and not going to elect people again. So those in power are like, well, we'll just keep doing this because it's keeping us in office.
There was a post on Meatgistics about some loans that had gone out, and how in the article they said, we don't list the names of loan grantees or whatever, people who got the money. Someone's like, oh, I can kind of see why, they wouldn't do that. I'm like, no, the government doesn't have any money. That's our money. I want to know the name of everybody who my money is going out to. Mm-hmm. I have that right because that's my money.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. Colorado's new cattle-free mega ranch to produce 45 million pounds of mushroom meat. It's not a ranch. Here's the definition of a ranch: an extensive farm, especially in the western United States, on which large herds of cattle, sheep, or horses are raised. Or 2, a large farm on which a particular crop or kind of animal is raised. Now, you could argue that a fungus or fungi, whatever, a mushroom, technically isn't a plant. So maybe, but a herd of mushrooms. That's a scary thought. A ranch is where you grow beef, where you grow horses, where you maybe have bison, sheep, but it is not for mushrooms. But language no longer matters.
I think that's just some of the whole bigger play of just ease things in and terminology here and there to just slowly transform everything.
So playing off that, I'm going to change nothing, but I am now a vegetarian who is 100% eco-friendly, and I am carbon neutral.
Okay, so we might need to switch gears here for a minute.
Okay.
Are we going to talk about our weight loss competition?
Oh, good point.
Because whoever loses, there is now a new definition for what a vegan diet is, and I'm 100% on board with this.
That's excellent. Patrick, can we record that at the very end and have you just put it in front of this portion?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, let's do that then.
Okay.
Leave this in, though. All right, going on. Subway hopes new meat slicers will boost sales after record 2022. So they're going to stop dealing in pre-sliced meat, and they're going to have slicers that they're going to cut, slicers in the store. So they're going to cut it right in front of you as you order it.
I don't like that.
Explain? This will 100% make me more likely to eat a Subway sandwich.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
See, me, I don't know. This may be bad. I don't know if I'm
the cleanliness
doing a service for our industry or not. But personally, it's gonna make me feel like I'm gonna be less likely, because I already know that stuff coming from Subway is commercially mass produced. You're not gonna. To me, if you're slicing it there for someone, it's supposed to give it more of like a personalized feel to it and make it seem more artisan. But
it is more artisan.
It's not. It's still the same thing. They're just using a smaller machine instead of a bigger one, but they're changing the environment that they do it in. Instead of doing it in a plant that is inspected under the USDA, you're doing it in a restaurant that is just inspected by your local city or county health inspector.
Right.
Which, nothing against those guys. I mean, we're inspected by them too. We have certain inspection that goes on here, but not to the USDA. The USDA does not come in here and inspect things, and it's different. You have a different standard, a different level of things that you have to keep to, and that is going to be, in my opinion, a breeding ground for listeria and getting people sick.
Still don't care. Still would rather watch my meat sliced in front of me. That's what's his name? Trump was like that too. He only wanted to eat like McDonald's and whatever because the meat is like pre-made and thinks their cleanliness standards are better.
The cleanliness is vastly different, and knowing that, to be honest, I won't eat a Subway as much.
Okay. Plant-based fail. The empty promise of animal meat displacement. It's been a rough couple of weeks in the media for the plant-based meat category. The major black eye came from a Business Week cover story with the painful title, "Fake Meat Was Supposed to Save the World. It Became Just Another Fad." And the subtitle, "Beyond Meat, 3.3% and Impossible Foods wanted to upend the world's $1 trillion meat industry." $1 trillion meat industry, but plant-based meat is turning out to be a flop. So, ouch. The reaction from the vegan echo chamber was swift and childish. This is not me saying this. This is this article saying this. says Impossible Foods resorted to calling the article another opinion piece and oddly relied on Reddit users to defend the company, taking out a full-page ad in the New York Times. Such an exorbitant and useless spend seems especially ill-timed given this week's news that the company is cutting 20% of its workers. So if you're getting fired, just know that they decided it was a better use of the company's money to take out a full-page ad in the New York Times than to continue paying employees. Yeah. That kind of shows what I think this leadership in those companies is like. More interested in the virtue signal than the company.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Okay. We are way over time, so we're going to speed through a couple of these. North American snacks market. This is a report from 2022. A $6.45 billion industry in 2028. Rising popularity of clean label and organic meat snacks and chicken-based meat snacks, okay? So they're saying it's going to grow from 4.68 million to 6,004. How does that make any sense? 6.4 billion by 2028. I think the fact that it's 4.68 million is absurdly low. Like that's a ridiculously low assessment of what it is. If it was just chicken, like chicken snack sticks, I would agree with that. But they're including organic meat snacks in that.
What did you say that? What do you think it is from
4.618 million? What did I mess up? Did they do? Is it 4 billion?
Yeah.
So they did the same thing. Why are they saying 4,618 million?
Yeah, it's silly. They should just put it in billions. They're using terminology that makes it confusing.
That makes absolutely more sense.
4.6 billion to basically 6.5 billion.
In this though, real quick, they talk about how people are looking for different things to like help with their health things. And one of the things they call out is cholesterol, which we've talked about a bunch of times. But once again, why dietary cholesterol does not matter for most people from Healthline. When dietary intake of cholesterol goes down, your body makes more. When you eat greater amounts of cholesterol, your body makes less. Because of this, foods high in dietary cholesterol have very little impact on blood cholesterol levels in most people. So the person who wrote that quote for them is a cardiologist. If I know this, how do they not know that? Elk might be a non-traditional meat, but its menu popularity is growing. United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization tells us that Americans eat 315 million pounds of venison or deer meat each year. Citing research carried out by Data Essential, Restaurant Hospitality tells us that elk has become 115% more common on restaurant menus.
Interesting.
Right? I think this is going to sound stupid, but I think some of this at least is owed to how often Rogan talks about how good elk meat is.
Yeah, could be just because he's so massive. He says something and it instantly gets into millions of people's heads.
Yeah, and he's had a bunch of like small restaurateurs on recently, so that specialize in wild game. All right. Class action lawsuit alleging Beyond Meat deceived customers about protein content will be combined in Chicago. So we don't have to go over this. We've talked about this in the past, but that is moving forward. Basically, one of the people who are making Beyond Meat's products said, hey, you're overrepresenting how much protein is in each one of these. And then that led to a lawsuit. Just for example, the Beyond Beef plant-based ground 16-ounce patties, which is labeled as 20 grams per serving and 40% daily volume of protein, actually contains 19 grams per serving by nitrogen testing and 7% daily value for protein. I don't understand how 1 gram difference makes for the difference between 40 and 7%.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't understand how they're doing that.
Don't know. Okay, moving on. Cardiologist says seemingly healthy foods can raise cholesterol levels. Now, I'm only calling this out because this is another nonsense article. It's stress. So they were talking about how to like live longer, look younger longer, and lead a healthier lifestyle. But they make ridiculous comments in here, like evidence suggests the benefits of healthy plant-based diet, include adding years to your life, reducing risk of chronic illness, and improving mood and energy. I mean, that is just not true. The number of times in the last 24 hours where I've just screamed, "That's just not true," is ridiculous. All right, 2023 could bring record cattle prices. Now, if you were lucky enough to hang on to your cow herd through the double whammy of drought and the pandemic over the past 3 years, you may finally get rewarded this year. The market experts at Cattle Facts told beef producers at the 2023 Cattle Industry Convention in New Orleans that this could be a record price year for all classes of cattle. Finally, some good news for ranchers. It has been a long time of nothing but negative news. So did not think really that they would be the ones to benefit from a reduced herd, but hopefully they are.
Yeah.
I assume to be the big box stores. All right. How to tenderize meat with baking soda. I only bring this up because we've had someone here whose wife has been doing this for years. He didn't really know it. She's like, "Oh, I forgot to soak it in baking soda." He's like, "What? What do you do?" And she's like, "Oh, I always soak our ground beef in baking soda." And he's like, "Well, that makes sense." It's like, I get it. And he said, that one did not taste quite as good as what she normally serves. So, I mean, there is definitely some science behind that. All right. Report billions in federal farm payments flow to a select group. The top 10% of recipients of federal farm payments raked in more than 79% of total subsidies over the past 25 years. The top 1% collected 27% of total subsidies between 1995 and 2021. Some of the farm payments are a little opaque. The government does not release information on all of the individuals who receive support for crop insurance. So crop insurance, though, my understanding is different. Probably shouldn't speak on that because I don't actually know.
Yeah, I don't know enough to really say there. My only guess is that it's probably not guessing, but since it's run by the government, it's probably not like legitly insurance in a way like health insurance is. Like when they talk about some of that now, it's no longer really insurance. It's
Fair
more
point.
like health coverage.
Yeah.
But coverage.
Or tax.
Yeah.
Or tax. Yeah, we just call it tax.
But I don't know. It'd be something interesting to look more into, to be honest.
Yeah, we do need to get a farmer on here at some point.
Because even though it's not like directly related to us, like there a lot of crops have to be grown to raise cattle. Like it's a lot. I wonder what percentage of crops grown is actually grown for human consumption versus animal feed.
I'm going to guess.
That's got to be an interesting stat.
I'm going to guess it's 23% of all crops grown in the U.S. are used in animal feed. Does it give you a percent? I see it gave you a total.
36% of corn crops are being used to feed livestock.
Yeah, but
I wonder how much then of that is then being used for like ethanol and other things.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll have to do some looking.
Okay. That's a good one to try and find out. Amish organic farmer faces $250,000 fine, possible jail time for processing his own meat without chemicals.
What?
Now, there's a little bit more to it than that. That's a slightly misleading headline. He's making raw milk, and his meat is 100% organic, nothing in it. They eat grass, and he was feeding it to and selling it to local people. And the list of health benefits that these local people are claiming, not him, is just long and insane. I mean, I saw them, everything from saying it cured their leaky gut to one lady's like, "Oh, I don't want to say it wasn't brain cancer, but some sort of cancer anymore." So, I mean, a little bit of cult of personality there maybe. But from this guy's standpoint, whose name is Miller, to Miller, processing his meat in this way would undermine his commitment to producing meat the old-fashioned way, without chemicals, a service his customers pay a premium for at the cash register. The parasitic acid is toxic and it's GMO. The farm's practices are organic, non-GMO, chemical-free, hormone-free, and antibiotic-free, according to the website. The cows get the sunshine. They eat grass. If the animal eats good food, we can eat good food as well. They use it as their medicine.
Yeah. The issue there is he's selling things. If you were doing it for yourself, you do whatever you want. As soon as you start engaging in some sort of commerce, the government's going to regulate it and tell you how you can or can't do things.
Now, what kind of kicked this all off was a girl died from a specific strand of listeria. They then said, hey, this listeria is similar to what we found at this farm, however many years ago. Oh, it's a similar strain of listeria? That's not any type of proof.
That's their connection.
Ridiculous.
That's not good.
All right, we'll skip the next one because it's fairly in depth. I found this one funny. The article is Inside the New York City Kosher Meat Boycott of 1902. Just bear with me for a second. The next day, thousands of women streamed through the streets of the Lower East Side, breaking into butcher shops, finding meat, or throwing meat into the streets, and declaring a boycott. That is not a boycott. That is a riot.
Yeah.
You don't boycott by going in, grabbing meat or whatever and throwing it out into the street. It did make me realize that people are way less aggressive now. You watch some old timey footage and those people were ready to fight over anything. We just the government's raising our taxes another 8%. It was like a 1 cent tea tax that made the founding fathers just be like, nope, we're done. We're going to war.
Yeah, I mean, I think it would be harder for us nowadays to get to that point.
Yes, because we don't have the same level of anger and testosterone.
Yeah, but Noel, people get angry for, I think, more things and simpler things. It's easier to start to get angry. It's harder to take it to the next level.
Yeah,
that'd be my opinion.
That's fair. I would also say a lot of the anger is only over the internet, and that none of those people would ever say any of that directly to someone's face.
That's very true.
So, all right. 12 New Jersey mayors raise alarm on offshore wind after unprecedented number of whale deaths. And my only response was, no, something the government did that had unintended consequences? Can't imagine. Why are eggs so expensive? Again, this is from Vox, so I always want to call those out so that we can all get our salt shakers out. But it turns out that it's the twin crises of factory farming and bird flu.
Okay.
Yep.
Why are we
don't bother.
blaming factory farming?
Don't bother. It's Vox.
Because in theory, factory farming would be the thing that you could argue would be saving things, is because you can produce so many in a short amount of time and at a low cost. You don't do that, and we're having a whole different discussion.
Yep. Lab-grown meat has bigger challenges than the FDA. So leading scientists agree that cultured meat products won't give you cancer, but the industry doesn't have the decades of data to prove it. So it's trying to avoid the question instead. But why would it cause cancer? That's like saying, hey, this new soda, I can't prove that it doesn't cause cancer, so we're just going to avoid the question. There's no reason that would cause cancer.
People put out so many different articles about how red meat causes cancer or processed meat does this and that. Can we just start writing our own for whatever we want? It could be Beyond Meat or Impossible Food or
causes cancer.
Whoever, anything else out there. We just isn't exactly meat, but it's like it. And let's just start saying, it causes cancer, makes you go blind.
Yeah. I have a
causes early onset Alzheimer's, all these bad, horrible things. And
I have a second cousin who got seriously sick. We didn't think she was going to make it. And she ate Impossible meat once. I think it's probably related.
I think it is too.
Should look into that.
It's I'm gonna get down a wormhole. When my grandfather passed away in 2020, it was right in the middle of all the COVID stuff. And during that time, a lot of people were saying, they're just putting down for everybody that dies. Oh, it was COVID. It was COVID death. COVID death. COVID death. When he died, we made sure we were like, hey, whether you think he had COVID or not,
right?
He was dying of heart failure.
Yep.
Do not put him down as having died of COVID.
Do you know why they were doing that? Oh, they were getting huge government paychecks.
They're getting payouts
for everyone who died of COVID. So they were putting, I mean, literally the joke was a motorcycle accident. Oh, he had COVID, died of COVID. But they did that.
I mean, unfortunately, that makes sense.
It's all corrupt.
Yeah.
It's not just the food industry, it's everything. All right, the last one. I've got a list here of Missouri farmers selling meat directly to customers. I will post that in the chat because I really do want to continue pushing that as what I think the way forward is with specifically beef and pork, is buying directly from the farmers.
I like it because if people do that, they're going to be buying from more of our commercial customers that are custom processing that meat. So
you would hope.
It's a cool deal.
Cool. All right. So we did our weigh-in.
Sorry, John. It's too bad that you had to lose.
I don't think that's accurate, sir. So if Patrick will insert that footage and sound here. All right. This is the weigh-in for Austin and my weight loss challenge. I was 210 when we weighed the first time. So I don't know if you can see down there, but we're about to step on the scale. I am 203.2. You want to grab that? Get a shot of that because I don't trust Austin to get away from me. No, if it doesn't come back down to 203.2, all right, 203.2. So I've lost 7-ish pounds.
It's a body weight percentage.
Right? Understood. But so I'm at 7 pounds.
Hold on, I gotta adjust the mic because John's kind of short.
No, you pulled it down. 217 point. It's fluctuating. Oh, get your hand off that. Get your hand off that. Actually, put your hand back on that.
Well, that was hurting me.
How is that hurting you?
I don't know. 215.3. Oh, dang it.
Sorry, I'll go back to it.
I gotta figure out how to get back to where I was.
Did you find the sweet spot?
215.2.
And as we come back, we see that 7 pounds is greater than 5 pounds. And since you would have had to have lost more for a percentage one.
Yeah.
I'm the winner.
It's okay. As we discussed through our Meat Matters section here, people's definitions of things are fluid, and there is nothing that is basically just fixed and static. And so if my punishment is to eat vegan for a week,
which it is,
I am going to reestablish a new definition for what vegan is.
You are going to at least give it a good shot.
I will give it a good shot. However, I will say, I'll create a post on Meatgistics and I will document everything I eat.
Okay.
If I'm going to do this, I'm at least going to make something entertaining out of it.
Okay.
I am not starting today. Okay. So I am going to actually plant, with 15 pounds of meat.
And cheese, both things you can't eat.
Yeah, so the cheese is honestly, it's going to be harder for me than not eating meat. I'm gonna have to buy some sort of meat substitute because I need some sort of meat,
right?
Something that's as close as I can get. I did find out there are bacon bits, like quote unquote normal bacon bits, like you get at the store, not the ones that that say real bacon on them, obviously, but there's the
little dried ones?
Yeah, well-known established brand of bacon bits that are vegan.
Really?
So I'm going to be eating those on every meal.
Okay.
I already have my dessert picked out for every meal.
Wait, do you have dessert with every meal?
No, but I'm going to. I was telling my wife about this last night. So she was researching foods and she's like, you're going to eat horrible. All you're going to eat is junk food. And I'm like, what kind of junk food can I eat that's vegan? She's like, Oreos are vegan. I'm like, yeah, buddy. No. So I'm eating a lot of Oreos. So me initially thinking that would cause me to lose more weight, and
it could,
may not.
So if you don't do the Oreo thing, right, it would be interesting to see after your week. Are you going to start tomorrow? Do you know when you're going to start?
No,
We'll start tomorrow. Okay.
maybe like a week from now.
Okay.
I need some time to actually like
Prepare.
plan out a diet, go buy everything.
Yep.
I don't want to just start it now.
Yeah, too much all at once. But it would be interesting to see like what your weight's not the only factor, obviously, but it's the most easily trackable to see what that does. Because for short periods of time, like there are definitely benefits to like an elimination diet. Now, if you're going to go ahead and just eat Oreos, throw all of that out because it's not going to do anything.
This is like the McDonald's experiment from years ago.
Yep.
Or just eat McDonald's. I'm just going to eat Oreos for a week. I couldn't do it though.
You'd throw up.
It would get bad.
You'd get sick. Yeah, you'd get sick.
But it at least excites me that, even if I don't eat something that I truly find good for like my main course, I can at least have a couple Oreos at the end and feel okay about myself.
Okay. I'll be interested to see how many times. I'll be very impressed if you're able to make it through the entire thing without cheating at all. Just know that they're going into it. There's probably the expectation that you're going to cheat at least once. So I'd just be interested in what that cheating is. So
the only thing, I don't know, the only reason I can think of that I would cheat is some sort of like event. So my son, we were supposed to have a birthday party for him this last weekend. We were supposed to have both sides of the family come over and eat and do stuff, and then my wife and kids have been sick, throwing up, so we canceled the birthday party. We're going to reschedule that. Like if there's that during the time, I will cheat. It's going to happen. But other than that, like some scenario like that where it's like family get together or some special event, it should be fine. I don't know. We'll see. I already warned my wife. I'm like, when I start this, I will eat with you guys, but I'm not eating with you guys. I'm doing all my own meals. She was starting to offer like, I can cook it. And I'm like, no.
Don't go down that road.
I am doing
If that
this.
starts happening, if she like willingly jumps on board with it, abort. Just I'll shoot you in the neck with the salt gun or something.
No, she wants to do it to make it more miserable for me. Like she would make it like unbearably healthy, and I wouldn't get to eat any Oreos.
Got it. Okay. So really, she's coming at it from a place of love and wanting you to be healthier. When you say she's doing it to make it more miserable,
yeah, it depends on which way you look at it.
I
don't think she's doing it. I think she's doing it because she likes to poke. That's what but I don't know.
All right, it's possible. All right, thanks, guys. We will be back next week. We've got some interesting guests coming up.
Remember to like, comment, and subscribe.
Do that.
Thanks for checking out the Meatgistics podcast. To shop everything but the meat, head on over to waltons.com. To get your meat processing questions answered by experts and enthusiasts alike, head on over to our online community at meatgistics.com. Waltons, everything but the meat.